Hi, Science Stu here for Music Radar.
Hello.
Today we are checking out the brand new Alesis Strata Prime. Before we go further, don't forget to do the liking, subscribing before we tell you all the things we love about this. So Stu, this is not exactly like a proper in-depth review of the Strata Prime, but we're going to be looking at like the 5 things that we love about it and a couple that we're not so sure, right?
So what we got here is Alesis's brand new flagship electronic drum kit.
Yep.
The Strata Prime. It is what they're calling 10-piece, that's including the cymbals. So
Yes.
a 10-piece kit, all mesh heads all around. Including the bass drum, which is a real shell, 20-inch bass drum. We've got 14, 8, 10, 12 and 14-inch tom pads.
Yeah.
And then 3-zone cymbals across the board.
Yep.
And acoustic style hi-hat.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't come with the hi-hat stand, you need to supply that, plus you need to supply your own.
No bass drum pedal.
No bass
It
drum
does come
pedal.
with a snare drum stand, and obviously it comes with the rack, which
big
is
rack.
all made out of kind of nice sturdy steel tubes.
Yeah.
Nice and strong and not rocking around.
Exactly, and it's very sturdy. But the big thing, and this is going to lean into number 1.
So the first thing is that the Strata Prime module has got BFD software built into it. So Alesis and InMusic, who are the kind of owner of the Alesis family, own BFD and have done since I think 2020.
Okay.
And for the first time, they've loaded the entire sound library into a drum module.
And it's actually running off this. It's the sound engine. It's not like it's the the Max Nitro Max, whatever that one was called, where they was playing the sounds. This is full on the sound engine.
Yeah. So with the Nitro Max, it had sounds derived from the BFD library.
Yes,
So I think there was even the BFD logo on the module, and it's legit. There's sounds from BFD in there, but here we've got complete kind of multi-sampled, multi-microphone, dynamic layers, without having to go anywhere near a computer.
It's amazing. So this neatly brings us into our second thing that we like about this whole system, is the fact that the drum module itself, it's got a huge screen, and the UI is really slick, isn't it?
It's more touchscreen than module. It's 10 inch.
10.1?
10.1 inch touchscreen. And so most things can be controlled just by tapping them with your finger.
Yeah.
You've got these 6 rotary controllers at the bottom here for making kind of finer edits to the sounds, and you can see down at the bottom here we've got things like on this screen tuning and attack, dampening and things like that. But they change depending on what screen you're on. But yeah, it's really nice. There's no scrolling. There's no kind of getting lost in cursors and menus and stuff. It's you tap. You can use this jog wheel here as well to kind of scroll through things. But yeah, really intuitive.
Right, number 3, stacks. Stu, tell us about what stacks do. What are they?
If you've ever used BFD or any of the other kind of drum software libraries, you might be familiar with being able to kind of, instead of just having one snare drum as your snare drum sound, you can layer up multiple drums together. Okay. And that doesn't just go for the snare, you can do it across the kit. So if you're trying to build a really big sounding hybrid layered snare drum, you can layer together kind of, you could take a dry snare sample that's got lots of punch and body, and then add in like a more ringy snare drum on top, and then kind of blend those two together. Yeah. You could have an acoustic drum matched with an electronic drum. You could put a hand clap on there. There's
awesome.
Whatever you want, really. But
is that with cymbals as well? You do that? Yeah.
You can do
so
it on cymbals.
every sort of section of the kit we can stack.
Yeah, you can layer it up.
Oh, that's wicked.
And you can also choose how it kind of behaves once you've stacked it. So it either kind of crossfades as part of the sound within that, or you can have it so it switches, so that at kind of lower velocities you get one sound, and then at higher velocities it switches to the different instrument. But as well as being able to do that, it's not like you're just switching between 2 samples. You're switching between kind of 2 instruments. So you could have a multi-layered dynamic snare drum at one velocity, and then go up to a multi-layered different sound.
Yeah, completely.
It's not just kind of like 2 samples.
Sure.
It's all kind of multiple layers.
Oh, that's wicked. Number 4, the cymbals. Now we've got 2 crashes ride and the hi-hat. And it's just the top, isn't it?
It is just the top.
Yeah.
Single piece. But yeah, the arc cymbals are, as you can see, they've got quite a curved profile to them. They're 3-zone, and you can choke them, and they play in a kind of 360 playing surface. So it doesn't matter if they're if they move or anything like that. But
so talk about the 3 zones. That's the bell.
You've got bell, bow, and edge. For crashing. And then again, you can grab them underneath and choke.
Okay, cool.
But they play really nicely. They move freely. They are rubber cymbals, but they do feel realistic.
Like we say, it's just the top cymbal for the hi-hats, and then you get the trigger that mounts on top of a standard hi-hat stand.
Yeah, that's right. And this is kind of a new thing for Alesis as well, in that it's like a magnetic sensing thing. And yeah, We've been playing it today, and it's set up nicely. You can configure it with like a kind of walkthrough thing in the module, just to get your kind of open and close positions correct.
All right. Dial a lot of sort of tweakability in there.
Yeah, and it's performed pretty seamlessly, really. To be honest, I mean, electronic hi-hats can be sort of anywhere from hit and miss to brilliant. And this one's leaning towards the latter, really.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Number 5, we're going to look at the shells, generally. We like what they've produced here, don't we?
Yeah, Alesis go big when it comes to mesh heads. So, like, I think pretty much every Alesis kit now comes with mesh heads on there. This is no different. So you've got tunable mesh heads all around, which is great if you want to sort of start tweaking tensions and things like that. The big trend at the moment is for kind of acoustic-based or acoustic-sized shells. I love them. Whenever I play a kit with acoustic type shells, I always feel like I can space everything exactly where it needs to be. However, this kit, it's not just designed for playing live. It's designed for using at home as well. So while it is quite massive, and there's obviously an extra tom as to what you'd normally get on a kind of 5-piece configuration. They are space saving in that they're traditional drum pads and shallower. So it's kind of like a halfway house. You've got a real bass drum shell there.
That's 20 inch, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and mesh heads on this side as well.
It makes it feel a lot more sort of a realistic prospect, and then, like you say, it's space saving, so it does do both very well. Yeah,
and the sizing of the pads as well, with some electronic kits where you've only got kind of multiples of very small kind of 8-inch pads, everything's all bunched up together. It's really easy to get around the kit really quick and make yourself feel like you're playing at kind of blistering speeds, and then you go to try and transfer that to an acoustic kit. Everything's a mile away and you can't reach. But these are sort of realistic sizes, so you've got 14-inch snare, 8, 10, 12, 14-inch floor tom. So like, 14 inches is about as small as you're going to get for a floor tom, but it is, it's a realistic floor tom size. And it all responds nicely, and we've tuned them kind of suitably to respond to where they're set within the kit, and they feel great.
Well, we've set this up as most people would, but there's nothing stopping you because we've got lots of rack real estate that you can set. You can change things about and.
Yeah, you could do, and for example, some of the kits have got kind of auxiliary snares. It shows you every possible pad input that you could connect to the module, and you could move one of those toms and put it over here on the left of your hi-hat and have a second snare drum, or, in some of the kits, this floor tom is assigned to like percussion sounds. And,
of course, yeah. So the quest of balance, we want to be kind of truthful. It's not all about the lovely things. There are a couple of things we're not so keen on. And number 1 is...
Bluetooth
audio.
Bluetooth audio. So when we set the kit up for the first time, you and I kind of unboxed it all of the many boxes that came that it came in, set it all up, and spent quite a long time trying to figure out how to get our phone to connect to jam along with some music over Bluetooth. But
there's a reason for why we couldn't do that.
We couldn't do that because it does have Bluetooth, but it doesn't have Bluetooth audio. So there's Bluetooth within the module, and for some reason, it does MIDI, not audio.
Not audio.
So you can have wireless MIDI over Bluetooth going from here to a computer or controlling something else.
Yeah. Which is very good and handy.
I guess you'd need a separate kind of Bluetooth MIDI
Dongle
instrument to be able, or dongle to be able to make something else. But yeah, you could record yourself on a computer with this wirelessly, which is great. But it seems strange to me that there's no Bluetooth audio.
Yeah.
I mean, some higher end kits just don't have Bluetooth because they're aimed at kind of professionals using it on big tours or big stages and things like that. And Bluetooth's kind of a home consumer-y type thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's got some Bluetooth capability in here makes me think maybe it should just have audio as well. Yeah, and
it could be something they sort of add in further down the line. Do you think?
Alesis tell us, that there is a possibility, although that is not confirmed, and there is no kind of immediate plan.
Right.
It's possible.
Touch wood that they do that, because I think it needs that for sure. The second thing we're not massively keen on is the cross stick.
Yeah.
Side stick, what do we call it? Is it cross stick?
Some people call it cross stick.
Yeah.
Some people call it side stick. Let's go with cross stick.
Okay.
So it does do cross stick.
But not in the way that drummers would expect.
No. So in order to play a cross stick sound on there, you can just simply tap the rim.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you would never play that sound in that way. It's impossible to do that on a snare drum.
Yeah.
If you hit that, you're going to get the metal rim sound.
Exactly.
So
for a pro sort of level kit,
it'd be nice
that.
to be able to kind of, play a cross stick in the traditional kind of way.
Yeah.
I mean, I did find a sort of compromise, which is you can sort of lay the stick across the head on
over
both.
both parts of the rim, So you're not touching the actual mesh head itself.
You're not touching the head, but you can get a kind of similar realistic type feeling from it. It's not quite right, but you don't have to do it that way. You can just literally just hit the rim with your stick.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that it doesn't have that ability to let you just sort of place your hand on the head and play.
Play as you would. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it's just an annoyance that you think they should do it.
Yeah, it's when everything else is so high level and like the sound generation is so detailed and dynamic and everything. It's sort of just like a small gripe, really.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all you need to hear from us jammering on about the Strata Prime. We generally do love it, but there's a couple of things we're not too keen on, and I think you should play us out with some more demos, Stu. Let's listen to more of the sounds.
Okay.
All right. We'll let him do that, and then we'll see you soon. So do like, subscribe, comment, share, all that sort of stuff, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.